Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of Mukhtasar al-Qudoori, where I will be teaching you guys Hanafi Fiqh, and we have reached the chapter of, basically this is the last part of Kitab al-Sulh. And if you guys enjoy this, please let me know. This is my channel, Roots of Knowledge. Please share my videos with others, and if you want to support my channel, that would be very, very much appreciated by me, inshallah. Right, so إذا كانت التركة بين ورثة وإذا كانت التركة بين الورثة إذا كانت التركة, so التركة, تركة is the leftover wealth, so wealth which is for inheritance. ورثة are heirs. أخرجوا, to take out. أعطوه, to give, they gave. Aqar is estate. Arud is goods, items, so non-estate. Jaza qalilan, a few. Kathiran, a lot. Fidda is silver. Silver. Zahab and gold. Salahu, again we've done this word before, they come to some settlement. Then you have nasib is share. Jins is genus. Okay, this word has come many times before. Nasib is share. Ziyad is excess, extra. Haq is right. Baqiya, remainder. Mirath is inheritance. Kana fitr, dain, debt. Adkhalu, take out. Yukhriju, sulh. Al-musalih, this is ism file. Musalih. Dain is debt. Batil is void. Sharatu is to condition. Yubri'u is to exonerate someone. Ghurama is creditors, people who are owed money. لا يرجع, to not go. نصيب المصالح فالصلح جائز. Alright, so let's have a look at the tarkeeb of this again. You tarkeeb lovers, I don't know what's the matter with you guys. You guys need your brains checked for tarkeeb. إذا كانت التركة, so تركة is the ism of كانت, بين ورثة, so بين ورثة, فأخرجوا في الفاعل أحدهم مفعول به بمال, so this is موصوف. أعطوه is the فعل and صفة. إياه is the second مفعول به. والتركة واو حالية مبتدأ. عقار أو عروض. جاز قليلا. كان خبر مقدم of كان ما أعطوه أو كثيرا, عطف onto قليلا. وإن كانت التركة فضة, خبر فأعطوه ذهبا, أو كانت ذهبا, so خبر of كانت فأعطوه فضة, مفعول به second of أعطوا, فهو كذلك. وإن كانت التركة ذهبا, so this is the خبر of كانت وفضة وغير ذلك. فصالحوه على فضة أو ذهب فلا بد, so this is لا نفي الجنس, أن يكون ما أعطوه أكثر, يكون ما أعطوه أكثر من نصيبه, خبر من ذلك الجنس. حتى, let's move this up a bit. حتى يكون, anyone know why this is يكون? نصيبه بمثله وزيادة بحقه من بقية الميراث. وإن كان في التركة دين على الناس فأدخلوه في الصلح على أن يخرجوا, أخرج يخرجوا المصالح عنه ويكون الدين لهم, فالصلح مبتدأ. باطل is the خبر. فإن شرطوا أن يبرئ الغرماء, فإن شرطوا أن يبرئ الغرماء منه, أن يبرئ الغرماء منه. ولا يرجع عليهم بنصيب المصالح فالصلح جائز. Okay, so this is the text. Let's have a go at trying to understand what it's actually saying. So remember, this is to do with sulh. It's like a kind of settlement and agreement you come to try and sort something out. All right. So instead of going to court, you just like say to the person, you know what, let's just deal with it here and now. But the problem is sometimes a sulh can be impermissible. A sulh might actually be bribery. It might be something which is riba even. So we want to make sure that the sulh falls under the sharia. So the first example is, let's say for example, there's 5 heirs in a family. All right, so there's 5. Let's do 5. And one of them, right, they've said to one of them, so all of these guys are owed money, let's say. Right, so they all have this inheritance. Let's say the inheritance is £1,000 inheritance they have. So what they've said to this heir, they've said to him, right, you know what? In the inheritance, there is £1,000 and there is a laptop. Right, what we will do is we will give you the laptop, and you absolve yourself of this 1,000. You leave this 1,000, don't take anything from me. Can they do that? Yes, they can. So heirs, so let's say for example, these are 5 heirs and they want to distribute the wealth amongst themselves however they want. As long as they're all happy, it's fine. Sometimes it happens, dad died and he's left behind 2 sons and 2 daughters, and the daughters get a different share from the sons, but they're all siblings. They decide, you know what, let's just divide it equally. They don't have to follow the distribution of the Quran if they all agree, they're all happy with their own style of distribution. So if they all want to divide it quarter and a quarter and a quarter, that's also fine as well. Right? That is sulh. So over here, they've said to him, you take the laptop and leave the 1,000 to us. So we're going to divide the 1,000 amongst ourselves and the laptop. Make sense? So إذا كانت التركة, so when the tarika, so this is the tarika, بين ورثة فأخرجوا, so they have taken out one of them, this guy over here, منها بمال, from this inheritance with some wealth, and this wealth is the laptop. أعطوه إياه, which they have given to him. والتركة, and the tarika is either aqar, property, estate, or it's urud, or it's just some item like a laptop or something. Jaza, it's jaiz, qalilan kana ma a'tawhu, whether they gave him a little, or kathiran, or a lot. So whether they've given him a little or they've given him a lot doesn't really matter, it's fine. They can actually give him, they might say, you know what, like sometimes it happens, you might say, oh, let's give mum the house. Mum needs the house, dad's died. Let's give mum the house and we'll take everything else. Let's speak to mum about it. Speak to mum, everyone's happy. They give mum the house and they take the rest. Yeah, so that's also something that can be done. All right, so that's one scenario now. Another scenario that actually comes out of this, well, we can actually divide this scenario into several scenarios. I'll show you how. So let's say for instance, they are 1, 2, let's say there's 3, 4. Okay, again, there's one guy they're going to take out. All right, so they've decided, everyone decided, take someone out. So if the inheritance is gold, actually, you know what, let's, instead of doing this, let's actually let's go back to this one because it'll just make more sense, because I'll just have to add to the bottom of it. So let's say the inheritance, so this is scenario number 1, let's call this 1, and then let's do scenario number 2. So scenario number 2, it's not £1,000, it's not £1,000 and a laptop, it's actually gold and silver. Yeah, so the inheritance is silver, right? So it's silver inheritance, and they've said, you know what, we'll give you some gold. Right? You take this gold and you leave the silver to us. Right? So you take this gold and leave the silver to us, we'll divide it amongst ourselves. Is that allowed? So this is permissible. Totally fine. Right? No problem. Because remember when we did sarf, right? Sarf, we talked about sarf. We said as long as exchange of both sides, because technically an exchange is taking place here, isn't it? So just like over here, you had the 1,000 for the laptop, 1,000 for laptop. Yeah, so it's like an exchange. Over here as well, you have silver for gold. So go and you can exchange as much silver and gold as you like, as long as it's done there and then. Right, so this is no problem. So the exchange of silver and gold is not a riba issue. The only time it's going to become riba if it's gold for gold, silver for silver. That's when it's going to become a problem. So this is scenario number 2. Scenario number 3 is the same way, but the other way around. Yeah, so if it was gold, so let's do this. Let's say it was gold. They're going to keep the gold and they're going to give him some silver in exchange for it. So whether that silver is part of the inheritance or not doesn't really matter. Yeah, because amounts don't really matter over here. Okay, so وَإِنْ كَانَتْ التَّرِكَةُ فِضَّةً. So if the tarika is fidda, silver, فَأَعْطَوْهُ ذَهَبًا, and they gave him gold, أو كانت ذهبًا, or it was gold, فَأَعْطَوْهُ فِضَّةً فَهُوَ كَذَلِكَ, then this is also going to be considered to be the same. All right, scenario number 4 then. See, I draw this, I'm drawing this one for no reason. All right, let's have a look at this one then. So now, what if the inheritance is a mixture of gold and silver? All right, so it's a mixture of gold and silver. Let's see how this works then. So number 4, so silver and gold. Yeah, so it's a mixture of silver and gold is the inheritance which they are going to keep. And they've said to him, you take some gold. We'll give you some gold and you leave your share. Yeah, so you leave your share. Or we'll give you some silver. You can say this is scenario number 5, but let's just call it 4. And you take the silver. It's that one up there. All right, you take the silver. Now, see, the problem with this is, if we do a little exchange over here, let me just try to draw this out. If we do a little exchange here, if it's on one side gold and silver, and the other side it's silver, yeah, then the problem over here is that there could be a potential, like let's say he was supposed to get from this gold and silver, let's say he was supposed to get 100 grams of gold and 100 grams of silver. He was supposed to get 100 grams of gold, 100 grams of silver. That was his share. Now, how much are they going to give him of silver so that it doesn't fall under riba? So let's say, for example, we said we're going to give him 100 of silver. That's not permissible. Why is that not permissible? Because 100 is equal to 100. And then what about that extra? So it's like, remember, when you do a calculation in maths, the equal sign, both sides have to be the same, isn't it? Yeah, so in this case, there has to be similar. So therefore, it has to be 100 plus something else. So the 100 will equal to the 100, and the plus something else will equal to this 100. Yeah, so you can have 100 grams of silver plus 10 grams of silver. So 110 grams of silver, the 100 is for the 100, and then the 10 is for 100, because when gold and silver are competing with each other, contrasting, it can be any amount. Does that make sense? Yeah, so this is a very important concept to understand, because over here we're saying this guy is taking silver, but he's giving up his share of gold and silver. It's like selling something. They're like trading with each other. So if you go to someone and say, here's silver, give me some gold and silver, the gold and silver that you receive has to be equal to the silver that you give. Make sense? And if you don't understand this, go back to Kitab al-Sarf and check that video again, and it'll make more sense, inshallah. So it makes sense. So whether you're dealing with silver here or whether you're doing a gold scenario over here, it has to be in the same way that you have to deal with it. Right? So there has to be gold equal, and then a bit more gold on this side, so that bit extra gold is in contrast to the silver. Yeah, it's in exchange for the silver. Make sense? All right, so let's have a look here. So let me just zoom this out a bit so you can see everything. Right, so he says, وإن كانت التركة ذهبا, if the tarika is ذهب وفضة, like over here, right? So for example over here, وغير ذلك, and other things, فصالحوه, so they have done sulh with him, على فضة أو ذهب, silver or gold. فلا بد أن يكون ما أعطوه, so therefore it's necessary what they give him, so they've given him, this is 100 plus 10, أكثر من نصيبه من ذلك الجنس, that particular genus, in this case is silver. So it has to be more than the amount of that genus on this side. So that genus on this side is silver there. So this 110 is more than 100, that's fine. So the 100 is equal to 100 and the 10 is equal to the gold 100. Make sense? Happy? Okay, alhamdulillah. حتى يكون نصيبه, so that his share is بمثله, is equal to it. والزيادة بحقه, and the extra is for the other haqq min baqiyat al-mirath, from the rest of the inheritance. Voila. Done. Yeah? Okay. Right. Now this masla is a bit tricky way. Now you have to use your aql. Yeah? You got to use your aql over here. Inshallah. You guys got aql? Actually, let's move this one down, I think. Should we move it down? Yeah, I think we'll move it down. And just bring you over here so it's nice and lay down. This is a good thing about technology, guys. Do you guys enjoy seeing fiqh with your eyes, or do you just happy with listening to fiqh? Let me know in the comments. I like seeing fiqh. I'm a visual guy, yeah, so I have to see things. I like seeing things, touching things, eating things. I'm that kind of guy. If I could eat fiqh, I would eat fiqh. Yeah, medium rare fiqh I like. All right, so now this is another masla. So let's say, for example, these are the heirs, right? So what they've basically done is they decided to take this guy out. The problem is there's money that's owed to them. So let's say, for instance, let's bring Mr. Green, right? So Mr. Green, Mrs. Green, some other people. These are people who owe money. So they owe the deceased, they owed him, let's say, £1,000. This is owed, okay? So we'll write down here, owed. They owe. So these three, they decided, you know what? What we'll do is we'll give Mr. Red, we'll talk to Mr. Red and say, Mr. Red, look, what do you want? Leave all this debt to us. Because he was supposed to get a share out of it. Let's say, for example, he was supposed to get 250. 250 from there was supposed to be his, right? That was supposed to be his. So they said to him, okay, what do you want? He goes, you know what? Just give me a laptop. Just buy me a laptop and you can keep the rest. Keep my share. So he's kind of like cancelled himself out of that debt that's supposed to come. And he's happy with the laptop. So what happens in this case? So he says, in kana fi tarikati daynun, if in the tarika there's debt, ala nasi, which people owe, فَأَدْخَلُوهُ فِي الصُّلْحِ. So what they've done is they've entered him into the sulh, or entered it into the sulh, ala an yukhriju, on the condition that they three will take him out, the musalih anhu, he's the musalih, the guy doing the sulh, وَيَكُونَ الدَّيْنُ, and the debt lahum will be for them, all 1,000 will be for them now. فَالصُّلْحُ بَاطِلٌ, this sulh is not jaiz. Why is it not jaiz? Because you're not allowed to do sulh, you're not allowed to buy debt, basically. Because like a deal is being done here, isn't it? Like a trade. You can't buy debt. So if someone owes someone else money and you say, you know what, I'll buy that debt off you. Yeah, give me this and I'll buy that debt off you. Right? Someone comes to you and says to you, oh, you know, my workplace is supposed to give me money on Thursday. You give me £5 now, something now, and you can have that. So this kind of thing, this is considered to be buying a debt, is not allowed in Islam. Right? So this is why a lot of these trade deals that people do around the world where they buy debts, buying debts is impermissible. فَالصُّلْحُ بَاطِلٌ, so the sulh is batil, is void, impermissible over here, simply because you're buying a debt. Right? So you're doing sulh with a debt, and that debt, these guys don't have the rights, Islamic rights, to be able to do that. If the money was there, then it's fine. They can't do that. Everyone understand that? Okay. So in the same scenario now, same case, but now we're going to try to make it jaiz. How can we make this jaiz, basically? That's what we're trying to look at. So what we say is we will, because remember, the problem here is these guys are not allowed to deal with a debt in this way. They can't make someone an owner of the debt. Right? So you can't do that business. And he can't do the same as well. So he can't do to them, they can't do to him. So the way around it, he's saying, is what you do is they will make a condition. They will make a condition that these guys, the amount that they owe him, so this amount over here, this amount will be forgiven. Right? So they will be absolved of that amount. They'll be freed of that amount. And they are not allowed, so these guys over here are not allowed to take from the debtors this amount. So this amount will now be cancelled from that. So that means they will only have to give 750. Right? So that is a way of trying to avoid. That's the only way that we can make this considered to be jaiz. There's some other ways that the fuqaha have mentioned, but this is one of the ways that you can do it, because now you're not transferring a debt onto someone else. So there's no transfer. You're actually forgiving a debt, and forgiving a debt is okay. Yeah. So okay. So for in sharatu, let's have a look at this one then. So for in sharatu, if these guys over here, the heirs, they condition an yabra al-ghurama'u. This should be yabra or yubra'u. Yabra al-ghurama, that the ghurama, the debtors, will become freed. Yeah. So ghurama over here, ghareem, actually, I said creditors, isn't it? It's actually debtors. Yeah, debtors, the ones that owe, مديون. فإن شرطوا أن يبرأ الغرماء منه ولا يرجع عليهم, and that this guy over here will not ask them for it later on. So he has to make that clear, that I have forgiven you, I will not ask for my share. بنصيب المصالح, the share of the musalih. Yeah, this guy. You can say musalah if it's the share of that thing. فَالصُّلْحُ جَائِزٌ. In this case, the sulh will be considered to be jaiz. Why? Because we're not transferring debts from one person to another. Although what we're doing is we're forgiving. And forgiving debts is actually something which is noble and it's allowed. And that's it, guys. Khalas, sulh is done. So, okay, some questions for you guys now. So, if heirs want to take one of the heirs out by giving him something else instead of his share, is that jaiz? Yes, it's jaiz. What's the way to do it? So the way to do it is, as long as it's not involving riba, it's okay. So for example, if there's 1,000 and they want to take him out by giving a laptop to him, that's okay. And if there's silver and they want to give him gold instead of his silver share, then gold in case of silver is allowed. It doesn't matter how much you give, and vice versa. But if it's silver and gold in the inheritance and they want to just give him gold or just give him silver, in that case, the amount of gold they give him has to be more than the amount of gold that he was going to be given in the inheritance. Or if it's silver, the amount of silver has to be more than the silver that he was going to be given. Does that make sense? And finally, the issue of if they want to take the guy out, but there's debts involved that are owed to them, can he transfer the debts to them and they will be given the debts and he takes a laptop? So no, you can't. You can't transfer debts. What's the way around this? The way around this is he forgives his share. So he forgives his share from the debtors, and then it's considered to be jaiz. I hope that makes sense, guys. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts barakah in your time, in your efforts, and your hard work. Share my videos, guys. I really appreciate it. And support my channel if you can. If you know anyone out there who wants to support my channel and maybe get sadaqah jariyah, then please consider it. It means a lot to me. It helps me to do all this work. And free of charge, people around the world are benefiting from these videos, inshallah. I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.